month we'll get a guest in here. Maybe most twice a month we'll get like a model in here on occasion, or a woman, a beautiful woman, talk to them. We'll get into some guest speakers like Mark Iron. Who was here for Mark Iron? That was a great talk, wasn't it? I bought his book. Hell yeah, good. Are you enjoying his book? I read his first one. I haven't read his second one actually, and the second one is supposed to be easier to understand because the first one was filled with so much data and information. It was overloading. It's overloading. If you don't understand the pathways of the body and how everything works, you have to stop and kind of study stuff. But he said so. He decided to make the second one a little easier for the layman, the people that haven't put a lot of study into it. Awesome. Yeah, Markin has really helped me to change my life. We've done a lot. I get the feeling we'll be doing a lot more together. We'll be having him on the channel more, and he's got a lot of topics we can dig deeper into and really start to build something around that. Nice. Yeah, it's awesome. Y'all got his book. That'd make him happy. We'll definitely get, like I said, we'll get him on here more just for you guys, and we'll pick topics. Maybe we'll go deeper into DHT hormone, testosterone versus regular testosterone, what it does, or we can go deeper into building muscle, or we can go deeper into getting lean, deeper into upping your sex drive, having more energy in the morning, so you're ready to kill the day. That's one of his favorite topics, and that type of stuff. So good stuff there. Next week, I'm looking at having, while everybody's coming on, let's see how many of you are on here now. There's 31. And I'm sure that YouTube's growing right now too. Next week, we're looking at having a model on here, one of our models. And she is also a vocal coach and a singer, professional singer. And she wants to come in and talk about the power of your voice and how you can use your voice to how seductive your voice can be, how powerful your voice can be, how it conveys all kinds of emotions. We'll be having that discussion. That'll be a lot of fun. And so for those of you that want to really work on your voice, and to me, the voice is kind of more important than the looks. And I don't even necessarily mean like you got to have this crazy range or you got to have a singing voice. You don't have to have any of that, because what you got to do is have the ability to carry emotion and feeling in your voice. And so that'll be coming up, and that can come through with so many different types of voice, because the women are really listening. How does his voice emotionally cause me to feel? That's what they're listening to. So welcome from Montreal. Good to have you, Luke. And so what we're going to talk about today is the friend zone. I haven't talked about it in a bit. It's an interesting topic. I used to get friend zoned a lot. Any of you guys get friend zoned a lot? Any of you are stuck in the friend zone right now? Anything like that going on? Yes. Hey, Omar, what's up, buddy? Jordan, yes. Jordan once. Okay. It's luckily you're only once. I have a girl that I'm friends with who's rejected me twice. I'm curious, G7, how many years have you been friends with her? And how long have you liked her? How long have you been wanting to take it to the next level? No, not stuck in the friend zone. Okay, we're going to be talking about what to do if you're getting stuck in the friend zone. And typically, it's a lot of nice guys get stuck in the friend zone. It's pretty much 90% nice guy problem. Because nice guys love to listen to a girl's problem and be there for her and be all connecty with her without creating any tension, and be super compliant. Whenever you need me, I'm there. And she can get that from, and they don't bring any masculine. They don't bring any tension. They don't bring any, they don't give her anything to chase. And so she immediately enjoys his company because the nice guy's all heart. He's like listening and he's sweet. So she can spend all day hanging out with you like a best friend. But in the end, she's not going to want to sleep with you. And that's a real problem that a lot of guys run into. I met her in person. So G7's response. I met her in person like 3 or 4 times, and she seemed to be into me, but I gave off a needy vibe, I think. So how long has that been? And you only met her 3 or 4 times, so it's not like you're close buds hanging out all the time. I mean, if you guys stopped talking, so is that really like she was interested, found she wasn't interested, and you guys kind of went the separate way? I wouldn't call that friend zone. That was, just didn't quite work out. I put myself there, friend zone a lot by accident sometimes. Yeah, we all put ourselves there. You guys are all putting yourselves in the friend zone. You don't realize it, but you're doing it. If you got girls you're hanging out with as friends, you're putting yourself there. And that's not a bad thing. I'm going to say that right now. I like having female friends. I have a lot of female friends. Okay. Sometimes I friend zone them, and I do that on purpose. I do that a lot, actually. And I want them, and then they'll chase me a little bit, and that's cool. And but the whole point of it is you got to realize that women aren't your enemy. They can be your best supporters. They can get you other women. They can turn on other women. They can introduce you to other women. But if all of your female friends are friend zoning you, if you're not putting them in the friend zone, you're getting put in the friend zone all the time. That's where the problem is. Too many Western women are really not ready for true masculinity. I don't know about that. I find a lot of Western women really like it. So they will buck more, they'll fight more. They have more, they're more second stage women, as David Data would put it. So they tend to be a little bit more on that, I can be my own masculine. So I see where you're coming from, Doug. But a lot of Western women, when they meet, they say they want this, that, and the other, but when they meet a truly masculine guy, they're wet because it's in their genes, dude. Whether they are as feminine as some of these Eastern European girls or some of these foreign girls or not, they still, if they're into men, they get attracted to men. They get around a masculine guy, they get turned on. They'll say one thing and do another a lot, and that's common with all humans. Actually, we often say one thing but do another. Guys do it when we're fronting, right? Oh, dude, I'm so like I'd tell that guy off. I'd be tough with that guy, and then they get around that guy, and you're like, "Hey, bud, what's up?" And your whole attitude changes, and your friends start laughing at you because you're talking shit. And we all do this as human beings, okay? Um, and so it's really hard at a deep emotional level to really sometimes know what we really want. Sometimes you ever say you wouldn't be attracted to a certain type of girl, and then you're around that girl and suddenly you're just getting really fucking attracted and something's happening and you're like, wow, this is interesting. So we're not always 100% in touch with what we're feeling, and so women go through this all the time too, even more so in some degrees because they're so feminine by nature. But they get around that masculine man that grounds them out, creates tension, pushes their buttons just right, knows how to disconnect, reconnect, knows how to say no, knows how to set boundaries. And suddenly she's like, this guy's kind of hot. And then he gives you something to chase. He gives you something that can turn you on. He creates tension with you. He might even slightly piss you off, but then he's okay with it. He's free from outcome and with your response. And then suddenly you've got something to chase, and it's fun. Women do this to guys all the time. They're masters at it, right? They give you something to chase. So guys that are good with women are good at doing it to women. They understand how to trigger that part of a woman, and that's what we're going to talk about today. It's what the average guy who gets friend zoned a lot doesn't know how to do. And I'm gonna throw this out. Some of you guys are good at staying out of the friend zone with girls you're not attracted to, but as soon as you find a girl hot, what happens? You start acting like a different dude. You don't act like the same guy. You don't act like the same man. You don't act rounded and solid. You suddenly become a nice guy. You start releasing all the tension. You start acting, oh, hey, what do you need? Let me get that for you. Well, you wouldn't do that with the other girl. The other girl, you'd be like, oh, you buy your own lunch today. We're going Dutch. You're not my girlfriend. With the girl you like, you're like, hey, yeah, I'll buy it for you. And suddenly, every time you go out to lunch, she's not even dating you, and you're buying her food all the time. You're like holding the door for her all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that if you really are a masculine dude and you want to do that. But you guys aren't doing it because you want to do it. You're doing it because you want validation from the girl. It's a completely different reason. And that causes, and she can feel the difference. Let's put it that way. So I want to read some of your comments really quick. That's the response. He wants an example of guys giving a girl something to chase. That's the response with most women I meet, and I'm genuine, not a jerk, and it ticks them off. I don't know. What are you referring to there, Doug? Did you write something else up there that I forgot already? So I'm not in a direct conversation with you. So once something goes way down, too many Western women are okay. So you're responding to that comment. That's the response with most women I meet, and I am genuine, not a jerk, and it ticks them off. Does it tick them off like they don't want to talk to you anymore? Does it tick them off like they get attracted? A lot of women get ticked off and then get attracted. It happens all the time with masculine guys. you know, and sometimes they're playing being ticked off. Sometimes they're having fun with you. Sometimes it's part of the dance. You got to be able to tell the difference versus it's very common versus them just shutting off on you. Try dating a Russian woman. When you first meet Russian women, they tend to get really pissy and shitty with you. And then when you handle it well, they get really attracted because they want to make sure they're dating a man. So they test the shit out of you hard, you know. Ever since I stopped ruling girls out for not being what I thought I liked and paying attention to how I actually feel, I've been amazed at how many more women I am attracted to than I thought. Yeah, that's very common. The type of women I've dated over the years has changed radically as I've grown and matured. I require more internal qualities out of a woman to keep me attracted. Yeah, if I see a hot ass walking down the street, I'm attracted immediately. Talk to her for 10 minutes and it's gone because there's nothing deeper than that. And that sucks. And maybe, and I think that's how it should be. You know, yeah, we're visual creatures. We're going to get attracted to a beautiful woman, but if there's not something deeper, how do you stay attracted over a long period of time? And I might see a woman that's cute. Yeah, she's all right. And then I start talking to her and I'm totally attracted. So that's really awesome when that happens. I love it because there's something deeper in her. That's me, LOL. Solid and grounded as fuck near girls I don't like, and I can see their attraction going up. So how are you playing with tension different, Raymond? Think about those girls. How are you working the tension with those girls? How are you having fun with the tension? Like your heart's opening, you're having fun with the tension with the girls you're not attracted to. And then how are you playing with the tension with the girls you're attracted to? Or are you avoiding it altogether? Are you suddenly becoming sweet? And there's nothing wrong with being sweet. But if they can't feel the part of you that can say no and set boundaries, then they don't give a then and you're just sweet all the time. They feel like they can walk all over you, and that's not what women want in a man. That's not what women's genes want in a man. They want a man that can handle the shit when the shit hits the fan. Um, Nothing early, just transparent. Okay. Yeah, being radically honest, practicing radical honesty will help the nice guy break the nice guy syndrome. When I find a girl I'm attracted with, I lose my subtleties and get needy. My stories come out. Yep, neediness destroys all attraction with women. That's what most guys are doing that are fucking it up with women. Um, are women good at faking being ticked off? Yes, they are. They're very good at it. They can play a lot of roles, especially when motivated. When I had great luck with this Ukrainian woman on the dating tour who are really attracted to a man who is kind and masculine. Most American ones say I am too confident about my beliefs. Did you go? Did you go out with Mark on a dating tour? Is that what it was? I'm guessing, Doug. Ukrainian women are a little different, and Romanians and Ukrainians are very different than a lot different than the American women. Yeah, I will agree with that. Quick note, guys: best chance to get your questions answered is putting them in the Q&A. So I'm just kind of Andrew's talking about the Q&A for direct questions, and I'm going to get to Q&A a little bit later. Right now, I'm just getting a feel for where you're at before I really start to talk. And so I read through the chat to get a feel for what you guys are thinking. And that's all. And then I'm going to stop reading through the chat in a minute, and we're going to jump in. Yeah, Mark's tour, awesome. Okay. And too open about my beliefs that fly in the face of popular feminist ideas. I've been a soldier for 27 years. Nothing wrong with that, Doug. There's a lot of women in America that are not or don't espouse to being feminist. Doesn't mean they don't have feminist values unconsciously put into them, but they don't espouse to it, and they like guys that are opinionated. But you will. It's good that you polarize because you'll eliminate the ones that don't fit what you want right away, if that's what you really want. Not a bad thing to do. Question is are you doing it in the right area with the right people? Do you believe that when, what are your beliefs like about women in the United States? Because that'll cause your reticular activating system never to find the type of woman you want in the United States versus having to go to Ukraine to find her. We have this super fine computer that runs in the background, and it's going to literally just like the woman that finds a guy that's abusive to her over and over and over again. We can go through a room of 100 women and we can sort, and we go that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and it'll always be the one that our subconscious expects. So if you're expecting these feminist, extreme feminist women that are going to reject you, you're going to find those women really quickly. The brain is powerful for that. So I want you to kind of sit with that and think about that for a minute. And just like I used to really get attracted to bipolar women. That was my thing, man. When I was young, I was bipolar women one after another. And I could go into a room full of women and I could feel myself get super turned on for a girl. And this almost magnetic, addictive pull. It was like an addiction. I knew she was bipolar. I got to where I knew. In the beginning, I didn't. I got sucked into those so many times. And then I started to say, oh my God, I have a thing for bipolar women. And my mother was bipolar, is. And no coincidence there. And I had to actually break that addiction to start getting more stable women. Okay, let's dive in. We're not going to take any more questions here. I'm going to take them from the chat. I might read this once in a while. They are an intense drug, yes. Okay, let's dive into this friend zone thing. Now, I typically give two answers, and I've given this on some of the old videos, and some of you might have seen it. So we might discuss these two answers, but I give two answers for guys that are in the friend zone. And one is, I want to ask you guys, how many of you guys are getting friend zoned? If you're getting friend zoned a lot, write in the chat, that's me. Okay. And if you got lots of girlfriends, you're hanging out with girlfriends, you go out with them all the time. Maybe you have one or two or three or one you hang out with all the time, and you don't really have other girls you hang out with. That's just these girls that I'm friends with, and I can't seem to get out of it. Is that anybody in the group? Even if it's only a few of them, but you're hanging out with them all the time. Okay. Okay, keep going, keep going. We'll talk about for you, Jordan, later what to do if you get friend zoned here and there. Okay, so nobody's admitting to the fact that they get friend zoned a lot, and or that they have a lot of girlfriends. Okay, cool. Okay, we got at least one of you in here, and probably a few that are afraid to write it because they're embarrassed. And I'm going to tell you right now, you got to own what's going on for you if you want to grow out of it. If you're afraid to tell people what's going on for you, you're never going to get out of it. I get friend zoned every time I really like someone. Good. Not a lot. Yeah, if you're getting friend zoned only when you like someone, that's also the same problem to me, because you're doing the same thing. Okay, if you're getting friend zoned a lot, then as a guy, you're not good with tension. The domain of the masculine is tension. The domain of the masculine man is the ability to go out and handle physical tension in the world. That's why we're the warriors. That's why we're the builders. That's why we're the hunters. That's why we're we go out into the wild. If I take a jungle, and we got a tribe living in a jungle, we're going to clear out a big space in the jungle, and we're going to create the safe space for our village. That's the internal space. The external space is outside of the village that we created, or the territory that we're living in. Outside there's the wild. That's where we go to hunt, get animals, protect our territory. So the men go out into this physical danger and venture off to bring back what's needed to the center of the tribe, the nucleus. And then the women take it in the nucleus and turn it into process it into food, help us deal with our emotions, raise the babies. So the women are the internal energy, the men are the external energy. Everybody getting this so far? Does this make sense? It's really obvious, right? Everything's got an internal, external, up, down, left, right, a masculine, feminine, and that polarization is drawn to each other because in our genes that keeps us alive. So you're not gonna, so a woman doesn't want to date another woman. She's not going to get attracted to a guy who's really good with his emotions, but is scared of tension. Like, oh yeah, I feel sad today, but I'm not going to go take any risk. I need to be with my sadness. That guy is not sexy. I always say be vulnerable, but I don't say be fucking needy or whiny or bitchy or moany. I'm talking about be a man about your emotions. Don't be like a woman. Don't be all about emotions all day long, but be honest with what you're feeling and then own it and move forward anyways, right? And so what a woman's looking for is a man at a deep level, if we go back to our primitive DNA, that can still go out and slay dragons. He doesn't need to be as good at emotions and feelings as she is. He does need to have access so she can reach him when he comes back, so she can reach in and make sure he's doing good. She can see where he's emotionally at. And if she does, and when he gets angry, he needs to be able to connect with her and stay with her and be solid. She doesn't need you to be happy all the time. She needs to know you can handle tension. So she's going to bring tension to you if you're afraid of tension, because she needs to see that you can handle it, right? And she needs to know that when you get back out there, you're not going to get yourself killed. You're not going to go back out of the jungle, out into the wild, get yourself killed because you're reactive, because you can't handle tension, because you're scared. Okay. So, so think about this for a minute. If you take 3 different men in the village, right? One man is scared of tension, physical tension. He's like, oh my God, I don't want to go out there. I might get hurt. Or I have to go hunting. I'll get to the back of the line and I'll watch you guys. I don't know. I'm nervous. And then another warrior stands up to him and he's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How attractive is he going to be to a woman? And how much are the other men in the tribe going to respect him? If there's a totem pole or a hierarchy of people that are in charge in the village, where would he end up? He'd probably end up at the bottom, or unless there's somebody more insecure than him that's in the tribe, right? Now he might be really good at basket weaving and preparing food and being nurturing, but when it comes to attractiveness as a mate, he ain't gonna have it, because the women are gonna want to be with a man that can handle the shit when the shit hits the fan. Why is that so important? Okay, think about that for a minute. Why is that so important? And we're going to come back to that question. Now, think about the second guy. The second guy loves tension. Matter of fact, well, I wouldn't even say he loves tension. He dives right into tension headlong. He's like, oh, we're going to go hunting. I'm going to go kill the animal first. I'm going to charge right out there. We're going to go to battle. I'm going to charge right out there. We're going to make it happen. Push, push, push. And he's constantly pushing into tension. And then the third guy has a little bit of emotional awareness, vulnerability. He can feel his emotions. He can feel the vibration of emotion around him, off the women, off the people, off the animals. And so he doesn't charge right into tension, but he's not afraid of it either. He looks at the tension, feels the tension, and then adjusts. If this tension's coming at him really hard, he doesn't charge at it really hard. He might adjust and flow around it and then deal with it from another direction. If he needs to go hunting, he moves slowly and feels everything and makes the right decision to strike. And so because of that, because he doesn't charge into the tension, but he's not afraid of it, he is better at calculating how much tension to handle. And that's so much more powerful. So he becomes typically the leader. Can you guys see out of these three guys why that guy would be the most attractive? The first guy is going to be the least attractive. Second guy is going to be number two, and the third guy is going to be the most attractive. Does everybody see this when I describe it this way? Just say yes or no. Okay. Okay, good. Now, this is why I had to get rid of the nice guy. I can feel all three good. I had to get rid of my nice guy because I was the first guy I described. I was so fucking passive and nice and needy and wanting validation for my emotions and hurt. And I was a victim that women could not stand to be around me hardly when I was like that. I had a lot of girl friends that wanted to tell me their problems, talk about the guys they were fucking and why the guys were fucking them over, how they were getting hurt. And I would see sitting there waiting all day to consummate nice guy, waiting for them to one day fall in love with me. And they never did. And even a few of them gave me opportunity. When I look back now, I didn't realize at the time, but I was so bad at tension. I didn't step into the tension and activate the opportunity. So therefore they actually lost more respect for me and even friend zoned me harder after that. It was like, let's see if you're going to step up. And it was pretty crazy. So that's really powerful. Now, when you think about women need to be able to be of value to men. They need to be able to fill that nurturing space. They need to be able to take your emotions and receive them in. They need to be able to give you femininity back, to inspire you, to heal you, to recharge you, fill you with fuel. This is why women would handle the inner space of the village. They need to be able to hear the vocal tone. This is why voice is so important to them, of two different warriors or hunters coming back from the hunt, and tell that these two hunters are slightly off. There's something off between those two. And notice women can do that really well. And we need to deal with that because that's tantamount to the survival of our tribe. These two hunters, we don't need them getting into fights and not getting along. Then we don't get food. We don't survive. We need to be able to adjust to them. And we need to be able to go over and calm them down. And you ever notice that women are doing this stuff a lot? Even today, they're managing the emotions of each other and friends and other people. And if they're really good, they're kind of, in a weird sort of way, in their own feminine way, grounding your emotions while you're grounding the physical tension. Okay. They are like the lamb who is relaxed when the sheepdog is on the watch, wrote Doug. Yeah. And when you're if you're truly the sheepdog, they can relax. They can get comfortable, because in a woman's world, there's a lot of dangers to be a woman. But when she's got solid men around her that are protective, that are masculine, that can handle tension, she can relax. She can get turned on for those men. She can want to make babies with those men, because those men are not just going to survive. They can protect her. They can protect their children. and they can create offspring that technically, if you believe in genetics and all that, are going to be more solid for the next generation. And so they're going to want to mate with them. But in reality, you can develop this. Everybody can. So it's not something that, oh, just the guy with the right genes is born with, but it's really important. Let's take genes out of it. Just let's say that a child is born to a guy who's really good with attention. What are the odds are, just from the way he's raised by her and that man, is he going to be better with attention versus a weak guy that's insecure? It's not that the one guy has more capability than the other. It's that one guy has activated more capability and can pass that on to his children because he's acting that way, and they'll model him. So you can even say it that way. So let's bring this all the way forward now to modern times. In modern times, we don't have these villages. We kind of do. I mean, we got different countries and things like that and different cities, but we don't have the wild. We're not typically going out in the woods and hunting animals, and women can pretty much safely travel anywhere they want today and not have to worry about it for the most part. There's exceptions. But that doesn't mean that those instincts aren't still in us. Those instincts go way back, forever, since humans began. So when you think about it, we've only been in this modern society for a little while. And yeah, you can really see it in the streets of someplace like look in a gang neighborhood in like the streets of Chicago, and look at the gangs, how they huddle together in mass. And you got the men and you got the women who are really they're much more pushing the guys and much more accepting of their violent neighborhood nature, and they're because of the neighborhood and the place they grow up in. The women see they need that protection in those neighborhoods and in those tribes. So let's jump forward now to modern dating. If you're a nice guy and you're not good with tension, and you're sitting out there and you're like, I can't handle the tension, I'm running from tension. I don't care if a girl is a CEO of a big company, it's going to be really hard for her to get attracted to you or to stay attracted to you. It's just one of those things where, dude, like, her genes are you got years and years of programming that's inside of her. So if you're not activating that and somehow, it's not going to turn on it. And so what's happening is you're like being one of her girlfriends in the friend zone. If you're out there getting rid of all the tension, saying it's okay, we'll handle it together, I'll help you get through this. Oh, that guy was a jerk, that guy was an asshole. And you're saying, I'll listen to all your problems, I'll be there for you, I'll hug you when you need a hug. And do you think she's ever going to really fall in love with you? And then when you go to hang out with her as a friend, where do you want to go eat today? Let's go eat over here. I'll buy the food for you. Or here, I got a gift for you. And there's no tension. There's nothing for her to chase. There's nothing for her to, like, the man is the rock and the women is like the wind bouncing around the rock, or the riverbed and the water is running over the riverbed. Instead, you're more like the riverbed chasing her. See, the riverbed's still and the water flows over it. And the tree trunk is more still and the branches and the leaves flow, and you become a support for her to become expressive as the feminine, to flow. And so if you're the one out there always not being this rock solid energy, but you're kind of moving around her and trying to get validation out of her, chasing her for validation, being reactive to her, what do you need, where do you want it, then you're not being a man. Not that you're not capable of it, but you're not being a man. How is she supposed to get attracted to that? You're not saying no. You're not setting a boundary. You're not breaking rapport with her. You're not teasing her. See, this all indicates that I am comfortable with tension. So an examples of this is literally saying no. It's like, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm busy. Oh, I just want to hang out. I can tell you want to hang out, but I'm busy, babe. I'll talk to you later. Maybe we'll talk tomorrow. And if not, but I might be busy tomorrow too. I'll let you know. And suddenly she's like, where did he go? And you've been hanging out with her for, let's say you've been in the friend zone for the last year, and suddenly you're busy. Maybe you should, if for any of you that's been in the friend zone with somebody for a year, take a week off. Be busy for a week. Don't even sit and text with them much. Yeah, I'm busy right now. I'll get back to you soon. Let her wonder where you went. And you don't say it like, and this is really important, I'm going to get into the energy of this, is don't say it like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm really busy, I got stuff to do, I gotta go hang out. Yeah, it's okay, I'll talk to you later. And you hear that tone, that's not gonna do it. That's where the nice guys make the mistake. When they start saying no, that instead of saying no, they say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And they're apologizing for saying no. Do you think a guy who's free from outcome, that's good with tension, that's a warrior in a village, and says no, like he says no, and then she goes, "No, come on, you can hang out with me." No, I didn't. No, did you hear me say no? Don't make me come over there and spank you. And then he winks at her. He says, "I'm busy." Okay, and he doesn't get mad and reactive either, because that's the other thing nice guys will do. Once they finally start setting their boundaries, they get angry from all the years they didn't set their boundaries. Now they're like, "No, I said no," and that's now you've gone too far the other direction. It's this freedom from outcome kind of attitude. And learning to set these boundaries with women is what's going to turn them on, what's going to start to attract them. Learning to say no, learning to be busy. And then, and one of the best things you can do if you're really bad at this, and then we're going to get to the next phase. The first phase, you really suck at this. I got women in the friend zones all the time. They friend zone me all the time. First thing I would do is start to take a hiatus from the girl you're really in love with, because she's going to be the hardest to do this shit with. You're fucked up there. So go find new girls and learn to get good with women. Learn to say no, learn to set boundaries, learn to give them something to chase, learn to tease them, learn to play with them, learn to drop your tone with them, and come, and then on an energetic level, don't just come from the heart. The heart's up here. It's like, "Hey, how you doing? It's good to see you." Come from the stomach too. Like, drop down, feel your gut, feel your turn on, feel your balls, and own it and say, "Hey, what's up?" And start to drop from there. And then it's a big difference between me saying no from the heart. "No, I can't do it. I'm sorry." And then coming down low in the body to the gut, stomach, or the turn on and saying, "No, I can't do it." And there's a sense of turn. I could even say I'm sorry from there. "Now I can't do it. I'm so sorry." There's almost like a little, it's the way I said it. There was almost like a little fuck you in there, like I'm playing with you. And it's a different tonality. And she feels the difference. There's also breaking rapport. Like if I'm looking at her, nice guys are always like, "Hi, how you doing?" There's this leaning in their energy. They're leaning forward. "Hey, what's up? Let's hang out." And when you're starting to date with women, now you want to start learning to take your energy away, lean back in your spine more. "Hey, what's up?" And then take the energy away. So like she's talking and you're connecting. "Okay, give me one sec." Just take your energy away and go, "Hey buddy, what's up? How you doing?" And let her feel that this is gone. And that's very different than if I take my energy away and I'm like, still, there's a part of me like out the corner of my eye leaning. Is she paying attention to me? Can I feel her liking me? No, no, no. I take my energy away completely, gone over there. I focus on something else completely. Then I come back. "Hey, let's keep talking." And there's an attitude difference with guys that are good with women. They are very comfortable breaking rapport. They're very comfortable saying, "I'll be right back, bye," and walking, just leaving her there, and then coming back, "Hey, what's up again? How you doing? Damn, you look good today." And then, but what they do is they don't do it like a nice guy where they say, "Damn you." Nice guy would say, "Oh, you look so good today. Look, I mean, that dress is pretty on you, or really nice on you. That dress looks really good on you." And the guy who's really good with tension, as I've been talking about, would say, "Damn, you look good today. That dress looks sexy on you. I like it." And then he'll break rapport again. Anyways, go over there, or he might break rapport by going, "That dress is really sexy on you," and don't let that go to your head. You're gonna have to earn the next compliment. And you see what's going on there. He's showing her that I don't need your validation in return. I don't need you to like me back. I can say no to you. I can set a boundary with you. I can walk away from you. And that's part of what makes him sexy and so damn attractive. So you got to learn to do that with other women, because you're so attached to this girl you're friend zoned, or girls you're friend zoned, that if you take a break from her, that gives her a chance to wonder where the fuck you went. And number two, you start developing this ability with other women. And then when you come back to her, you bring that attitude to her, and then she'll feel the difference. A lot of times, just sometimes I've seen it happen where a guy who's friend zone doesn't talk to a girl for a week, and suddenly she's chasing him, and the guy's shocked because they're terrified she's never going to come back. Now, on the breaking rapport thing, I'll have students do this in class. We bring models into all our workshops. We have workshops where we practice the energetics of this stuff. And we will have you nice guys. You guys come and just, "I'm not a nice guy. I'm not a nice." Put you in front of the model. Now I want you to connect. Like, "Oh, this feels so good." Now break rapport with her. "What do you mean?" "I want you to reject her. Say no, turn away, take your energy away, look that way, ignore her." And they start to shake. They start to get nervous. "Oh, I feel like a dick. I can't do it." And the girls are just laughing at you. They're laughing because they're like, "Please do it. Show me you don't need me. Show me don't have you wrapped around my finger. Give me something to like." The girls say this to the guys, and the guys still have a hard time doing it. And I want to get that point across. Okay. So, so as I say all this, I'm going to finish this talk before I start taking any more questions. And then as I say all this, for a nice guy, then the first thing I would tell you is as you start to date and hang out with new women, um, don't accept friend zone for a while. Now, I love the idea of having female friends. For all the women out there that might be listening to this, having female friends is awesome. Female friends for a guy that's attractive, that's become more comfortable with his body, maybe you two just don't work for whatever reason, are great because they'll introduce you to other women. They show other women that you're good with women, that you're comfortable with women. But when you're not, when you're just learning, hanging out with more female friends, you're just going to go right back in the same old patterns. Nice guy, nice guy, nice guy. So you need to break that rapport with women for a bit. So the first thing I would tell you to do is tell women from now on when you meet them and they're like, oh, I just want to be friends. Say, nah, I'm not really interested. That's the breaking of rapport. And they'll be like, what? You don't want to just be friends? I'm like, no, no. They say, honestly, I have plenty of female friends right now, and I don't have time to be hanging out with 100 different women. And right now I'm looking to date. I'm looking to meet women, some beautiful, sexy women that I can hang out with. We can have a good time. Maybe I'm looking for a girlfriend. I don't know, but I'm not looking to hang out and just be your buddy. If you're looking for that, that's somebody else. And then walk and then just sit back in your spine. And you don't have to get an answer from her. The next thing you're going to say to her is really simple. You're going to say, so, I'll still hang out with you, but no, I won't see you as a friend. You see, also, and this is another thing you can say. You can say, also, I really believe in radical honesty. And if I just tell you that, yeah, I want to be your friend, that's awesome, I'll be lying to you. That's not honest because all the time I'll be thinking about how to seduce you. I'd much rather just tell you up front that if we hang out together, I'm not going to see you as a friend. And I'll probably flirt with you. I'll probably tease you. I'll probably hit on you. And you can make that decision. We'll see where it goes. So the reason I want you to say that is so you get good at setting boundaries, saying no, putting a wall, and putting it out there on the table. And that's going to be really powerful for changing your reality with women. Then when you start to get more comfortable with that, then and you start to actually develop this ability to get past the nice guy syndrome and you start to date more women, then you can start bringing more women friends back into your life. And you can also at that point really deal with the girl that you are in the friend zone with, because you're going to start changing in the way you're behaving around her. Now, I gave this advice to an old friend of mine. He said those exact words, basically, no, not exact words, paraphrased. And he said, I'm not looking for female friends right now. I've had plenty of female friends and I don't really want to be your friends. I'd be lying to you. And I don't want to lie to you. And honestly, I'd just be wanting to hit on you all the time, figuring out how to seduce you and how to get you in bed if I was hanging out with you. And so I don't want to do that. So if you want to hang out with me, know that I'm not going to see you that way. And she went, what? You don't want to be my friend? Oh God, that's really rude. And he said, no, it's honest. And she's like, she couldn't understand it. And he didn't ask her to make a decision. He didn't say, you have to decide right now. He just left it at that. Called her up the next day. So you want to hang out? And she was like, yeah. And they ended up in bed. They dated I think they were a couple for 8 months, ended up together. Okay. Now he was okay with women. This girl was just trying to friend zone him. He wasn't a high level friend zone guy that was getting all the girls friend zoning him. So he was able to handle the energy better. But at the same time, that's what you got to start. Even if you're a high level, like I was super high level friend zone guy, like buddy with girls. And you have to start somewhere. You have to start setting tension, breaking rapport, teasing, bantering, getting all that stuff. And you have to start learning to communicate a little bit lower in your body. Like I can't saying no from, like I said earlier, I'm going to say this again, saying no from my head. Hi, I just want to be, I don't really want girlfriends. I just want to be, I'm really only looking to date right now. So it doesn't really make sense for me to do, no. And you come out of the heart, I'm not really looking for, you're really awesome, but I'm really looking for more of a girls to date right now, and you're really awesome, but I got plenty of girlfriends. No, come down lower, and you got to speak more from the stomach. You're really awesome, but I just don't see you that way. And I don't want to lie to you. I believe in radical honesty, and I'd be lying to you. And start to create the tension with the eyes and get comfortable with it, all that tension, and staying in your turn on if you can. But that takes time to develop. So, but if you start with that, you're going to be moving in the right direction. Now, once you get you get good with girls, then start bringing in some girlfriends, especially hot ones, the attractive ones that are at the caliber of women you want to date. And then say, yeah, I totally would love to be your friend. Let's all go dancing. Let's get some of your girlfriends together and we'll go dancing tomorrow night. And we'll all be friends. and then start flirting with her girlfriend. Say, you know what, you can introduce me to some of your girlfriends. That would be really cool. I'd love it. I love having and tell her that. I love having girlfriends out. Like we go to the club, even if I'm not dating any of you, it makes it easier for me to meet other girls, and then go out and fucking do it. And they will be your biggest supporters. If they are not single, they can't date you for some reason, there's something going on, but you're being an attractive, solid dude, girls come over, they will get you laid. I've had it happen. I had one girl, I was in Ukraine and I was at a party, and this girl I was flirting with this girl, and she was, we were having a good time. I would lean in, talk to her a little bit. It was a tough language barrier. Then I'd pull away and reject her for a little bit, and I'd pull my energy away and show that I didn't need her. I wasn't going to chase her around the room, and I'd lean in, especially because she was a party girl. And then this other girl kept talking to her that I knew that was really sexy, that I'd had, wasn't a girlfriend, but a girl I'd had a little fun with. And then the next thing you know, this girl's all over me. And I'm like, interesting. And the next thing you know, we're having a great time. And then later I was talking to that girl. She sat down next to me, the other one, and she goes, really sexy girl too. And she goes, "You're welcome." And I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "That girl was asking me about you." And she said it in her broken language. She said she was asking me about me, and I was telling her what a great guy you are. And I was telling her she should go fuck you. She said it just like that. And something like that, fuck you or have sex or whatever, that you would be fun. Because it was a party. And then I thought that was hilarious. So stuff like that happens. Okay. So at that point, you're different. You might have girlfriends. If you're just dating a lot, you might have girls that you really respect and love, and occasionally you guys have sex, and a lot of times you're friends. You might have girls, you might fall in love with a girl from that group and actually build a crazy cool relationship. All kinds of crazy stuff happens. But that comes as you get more secure and you don't need the women, but you're choosing the women. So I'm going to say that again. You don't need them, but you're choosing them. And that's what they want to really feel. Especially the hotter they are, the more they get guys catering to them, more feminine they are. So they want to feel like you're a guy that doesn't need them, but chooses them anyways. And that says he doesn't just like me for my looks. He likes me as a person too. Both are important. And because if he just needs me and he's willing to do anything to get me, and he's willing to buy me whatever I want, and I have him wrapped, I don't have a man. I don't have a man that's give attention. I have a guy that can be easily fooled, manipulated, coerced, that's going to lie to me to tell me what I want to hear, and I can't trust him. So the best I can be is a friend with him if he's got a nice heart, and I'll dump all my problems on him. So hopefully this all connects. Awesome. So, okay, I'm going to go to the questions now. Really quick, I want to say, does this talk make sense to you guys? Do you guys connect to this talk? I want to hear, just put a couple of comments in the chat. Yeah, it makes sense. Yerp. Love that. Andrew. Okay, good. I had to stop reading the chat or I never would have got it done. I had to dive in a little deeper. Okay, guys, let's jump over to the chat. We got 10 questions. We're going to jump through. Matthew, Brian, today is a good example of my love life situation. I was at the store today and the sales girl was super into me. So I asked her out and she said that I couldn't because she was at work. Did I do something wrong, or else the girls have boyfriends? LOL. I don't know. I mean, honestly, there's not enough information there. She might have a boyfriend. She might actually be at work and be on camera, and she might just be saying that. And you said, "Hey, just whisper me your number. I have a good memory." That might have worked. It might be that she's acting into you because that's her job. It's hard for me to tell unless I'm there. There's so many variables there, Matthew. But I would say don't quit, because the more it's more reference, you're learning more. And you might find, how did she say it? Did she say it coyly? Let me give you an example, Matthew. Did she say, "No, I can't, I'm at work," and she glanced around like this with a little girlish giddiness? Or did she say, "No, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm at work," and shut you down flat? And if I saw her nervous but still attracted, I might have said, "It's okay, you won't get in trouble. Just whisper me your number." Or and I won't get you in trouble, because there might be a camera, and if somebody sees it, she might have gotten, who knows what they've gotten in trouble for at work. So it could be something simple as that. If she's shutting you down flat, it might be that she does have a boyfriend, and sometimes girls have boyfriends. I've seen this happen. They're attracted to you, they're flirting with you, they like you, and they don't tell you they have a boyfriend because they're attracted to you. but they also won't go out. They won't give you their number. And so they kind of coyly lean back, and there's this, maybe they're not quite good with their boyfriend and they're thinking about it, who knows? So there's so many variables going on there, Matthew, without seeing it, hearing the tones and the energies, where she was at in her body, how much lean in she had towards you versus just acting nice. There's a difference between lean in where she's attracted, where she's leaning into you and there's this sense of energy coming into you, versus just being nice and a big open energy because she's a good salesperson. So kind of let all that land. And those are the things you want to start paying attention to. That's why we have so many subtle exercises for approach practice, so you can start identifying that stuff with time. Nope, very seriously. Yeah. So she was shutting you down. And again, you don't know why. So I would go, I've had that happen where in the beginning it starts out that way. And then I keep going back to the same place and I keep joking with the girl. And pretty soon she starts cracking more and more and more. And then pretty soon she's chasing you. And that's really good too. So a lot of things like that happen. Okay. Gaston. Hey Brian, I just keep thinking of Gaston. Gaston. Yeah, the Beauty and the Beast. When I read your name. That's a compliment, by the way. All the women want Gaston. I think, is that his name? Yeah, Gaston, or no, maybe I've got it mixed up. I don't know. No, I think he's the bad guy from Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. Just want to ask you about growing with fearless principles. I was growing with the webinars you are offering. It was amazing. But after that, I became cold and just got busy in the work and everything around me. In a result, I am not feeling myself these days, just running from a task to task, another. And okay, yeah, that happens, man. So you just got to get back in. It's like quitting exercise, dude. If you're not constantly, like, do you take a shower every day? Do you brush your teeth every day? You got to constantly work on yourself, whether it's with me or with somebody else. The nature of personal growth is you work on yourself, right? You don't work till you're done. You work till I'll be doing this work till the day I die. A little bit each day. You just need some maintenance. You don't need to be doing tons of it all the time. You probably got into races. You probably got a little ahead of yourself. Your mind probably got in the future because you got busy and you start saying, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. And then you created that reality. And now you're in this spins in the future saying, I don't have enough time. You got to break that cycle again and come back down to more presence. You got to stay with the work. If nothing else, when you get really busy, you have a daily practice, maybe in the morning for 10 minutes, in the evening for 10 minutes, that slows you back down and gets you in touch with the work again. That's one of the best things you can do. So you don't lose it. Don't take time off for 6 months though, or you're going to get lost. That would happen to me too. If I took a bunch, luckily I'm getting deeper and deeper where it's become such a part of me. I can't take time off. Like when I go to take a walk, there's stuff I'm doing that's like, I'm connecting to everything and feeling everything. And it just happens naturally now. It's part of who I am. But that keeps me going. And I always take my walks so I can do that, or I sit and do my meditations or my releases and so forth. In Irshad, can you give an example of a guy giving girls something to chase? Well, I just did later in the talk. So hopefully you got that, Irshad. But saying, oh, you're so fun. And you can, if you want to use a banter example, energy is the primary. So energy is my energy's here and I can take it away and I can bring it back and I'm not worried what she thinks of me. I can say no, and then take it away, come back. Oh, you still there? And you see what I mean? There's that attitude. I can take it, I can leave it. And so when I'm with the girl, I can say, you are so fucking beautiful. Now don't let that go to your head. And don't be trouble with me later. See, there's a push and a pull energy. And you got to know when to use each. You're such a dork. Yeah, you're lucky I like dorks. And you give her something to play with. And then that triggers. Girls know that's flirting. And what nice guys do is, you're so pretty. Oh, you're really pretty. I really like your hair. Oh, I really like your eyes. Oh, it's really good to be around you. Thank you for, thank you for getting lunch today. It was great. And at a certain point, it's like, there's no push pull. It's just push. It's just, there's this sense that you're just wanting something from her all the time. Now you can get away with constant compliments if you're really grounded, and that's much harder to do, but really top level, old school, what they call them, breaks, could do that. And that's completely different. And the average guy can't do that though. That's like, let's see. Oh, you're really fucking beautiful. Look at you. Damn sexy. You're so sexy when you smile like that. Smile like that again for me. Come on. Don't get too close to me now. I might lose control. You might lose control. I think you want to get close to me, don't you? That's a sexy body. You see, it's a different attitude. I'm staying low in my body. There is tension. I'm playing with tension by talking about sex, sexuality a little bit. I'm saying, don't get too close to me. So there's a little push pull even in the compliment. So it's a different attitude.
Real quick, Brian, we got a question from YouTube whenever you want to take that.
Yeah, go ahead and do it now.
Okay, this is
Thanks for
from.
reminding me, Andrew. I completely forgot about you guys, but I love you guys so much. How could I do that? Okay.
Yeah, this is from Arshad.
I
So
thought Arshad's on here. Is it the same, different Arshad?
this is Irshad, I think. This is on
Uh,
YouTube. YouTube is Arshad. Here in Zoom is Irshad.
okay, cool.
So since I have a lot of negative beliefs about women, like living in a conservative society and past hurt, especially when it comes to betrayal, how do I change this?
I would say that's a big question, and I would say read the book "Letting Go" by David Hawkins, or get our revealing process masterclass. It's an online program you can take. You can take an online program with that. Sedona Method's also a good book. These books all teach you how to process all those old stored programs and emotions. Really good stuff. But that in and of itself, we've got lots of YouTube videos where I do this work with you guys. I help you to process old stories and emotions and releases. So look through my YouTube videos too. A lot of great stuff in there. Anything to do with revealing process, releasing, things like that, will be great for you. But you got to learn to welcome the pain. Ultimately, it comes down to releasing is welcoming the pain, teaching your subconscious mind you can handle the repression, the feeling, the emotion, and then letting it go. And you can't let something go until you show your subconscious mind you can handle looking at it and being with it. So, can you welcome the feeling of anger? And you're going to have to go in the beginning, you're going to go through a lot of different stories. You're going to start small. Remember the time your mom rejected you when you were 5 and told you, I'll give you a real example. One of my hurts from a little child, I remember, was I used to run to my mom every day as a little child, and I'd jump into her arms. She came home from work, and I would jump into her arms. And I love being held by my mom. One day she said to me, as I ran to her, and I remember specifically where I still have a clear memory of it. And I went to jump in her arms. She said, "You're getting too big to hold. I don't know if I can hold you anymore." And it crushed me. And I was hurt all night about that. My mom doesn't want me. She doesn't want me to hold her. I was a very needy kid. And I don't think I ever jumped into her arms again. I think I even stopped hugging her. And I had to go back and look at that years later and welcome the pain of feeling rejected and abandoned by my mom. And she wasn't really abandoning me, but that's how I took it, right? And I had to sit with that and felt my heart hurt. I had to feel my whole body and welcome that feeling, be with that feeling. And then once I get comfortable looking at it, and that means I'm not making it good or bad, right or wrong. I was saying yes to it. Can I say yes to that pain? Can I be with that pain? Can I accept that pain? And then when I finally said, okay, that image isn't, it's right there. It's painful, but I can look right at it. Can I let some of it go? Can I let all of it go? Can I let part of it go? Can I let it get a little less intense? Can I get a little softer? And as I did that more and more, and I go back and welcome some more, then I'd let go some more and welcome some more and let go some more. And then pretty soon the memory is just a memory. It's like, oh, there was a time my mom did that. It made me sad. It's like, oh, that's sad. But I also see that I totally mistook it. I didn't understand, and I look at the memory now, and it looks completely different to me. It's not this heavy thing or this painful thing that makes my heart want to collapse. Now, to do that, you got to be willing to feel your heart and your stomach, feel your center pillar. You got to be, it's a sense you can relax into it. So there you go, man. That's a super short class in releasing, about as short as I can make it. That's a course I can do over 2, 3, 4 days a week if we want, and we can get deep into how to do that at a deeper level. So, let's see. Wow, it was not now. I'm busy for me. I'm not sure what you're writing there, Omar. Okay, awesome. Let's go to the next one. And if you got more, let me know. Todd, why do women stop being friends with me if I don't want to date them? Uh, that's it could be that you're just really attractive guy and they feel really rejected by you. How do you let them down? It could be that it's a tough one to answer. If I saw you and met you, I could give you a better answer on that, and how you're being with the women. It could be how you tell them no. Could be, do you get cold with them when you tell them no? Do you shut off your heart when you tell them? Like, there was a time, I'll give you an example that's a little different. I used to date women a long time ago, and I didn't want them to get attached to me because I didn't want a girlfriend. So I would have 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door all the time. So when I was with them, I'd be kind of distracted. I'd have my heart half closed so they didn't get attached. All that did was make them more attached, because now they're chasing me. Remember, I said, you want women to chase you a little bit? Now they're chasing me. I can't get this guy, and he's not fully here. He's not fully present with me. And they get more frustrated with me, and it led to fights. But they wanted me. Okay. It could be that you're open-hearted and you're being sexy with them and they're loving it. And the moment they say, I want to date you, you say no, bam, you shut your heart to protect yourself, and so that they don't get in, or so that so that they understand you don't want to be their boyfriend. And now they feel totally rejected by you, and they disappear on you. So the key is not to shut your heart down, it's to stay open, stay who you really are with them, but make it super clear through your actions, not your energy, what you want. Like, be open, be loving, give them really good hugs, ground them, say, I'd love to be your friend. You're awesome. You're awesome. But don't shut off on them, because if they don't have that, that's why they're there. That's why they want to date you. That's why they want to be your friend with you. And the worst thing you can do to a woman, dating or otherwise, is not be present with her, because then she doesn't want to be with you. That's the one thing nice guys do have, is they can open their heart and be with a woman. Oh, let me be there for you. And that's why they want to stay with the nice guys, even though they don't want to date the nice guys. That's half of the picture. And then the other half is the masculine part. Okay. So I don't know if that's what it is, but that's a guess that comes to mind right away as one possibility. Okay. Niall, I hope I'm saying your name right. What's a good exercise to reduce your neediness around women? Well, I kind of explained one today. Is one of the things I like to do is walk around and feel tension, right? I do it every day. I walk down the street. I do ones and twos. I do low levels of tension. I'll feel that tree. I'll feel that person walking towards me. I'll feel that dog walking, and I feel it. And I walk towards the tension. I look, what's a little bit more tension? I'm going to go for a 3. I'm going to go for a 2. And then what I also do is constantly, when I feel something, I move my energy away. I reject it, or I break rapport with it, is a better way to put it. So let's say I see this cute girl and I'm enjoying her for a minute. I smile at her, and then I'll look over this way and I completely move my energy and take it away from her. I don't linger on how hot she is, how cute she is. I go over there and, oh, there's a cute dog over there. I'm going to enjoy the energy of that dog, because I love dogs. And I'll move on. And I practice constantly letting the last thing go. Beautiful artwork. Take it in for a second. Boom, move away, let it go. I don't let my mind linger on things, because that's where neediness comes from, is this inability to let stuff go. She's so cute. I want her validation. Even as you walk away, your mind's even as you're not looking at her, your mind's over here with her. Like, I'm not, she's over here, but the corner of my eye, I can feel her. I can pick up on her, because I can't let her go. And there's a part of me that wants her validation so bad. So my inability to let go and move my energy in a new direction is a big part of that. So as a meditative practice, you could sit at the park, you walk through the park, sit at the park, and move your energy from idea to idea, letting the last one go. And some of them are going to be hard. When you see something, if you were to even go through memories, like you go through a thought of something you really want, and then I say move away from it to something else, like a memory of something that's like really beautiful, like yeah, there was a sunset, you saw this, you move your memory to the sunset, but yet your mind keeps going back to this other thing you really want. It could be a woman, could be money, could be a business, could be Bitcoin. I don't know, everybody wants Bitcoin right now. And then you're unable to let it go. So because let's say with Bitcoin, the FOMO's taken off. I got to get that, or the FOMO's taken off, fear of missing out. And so your mind won't let it go. You keep thinking, I got to do something about this. The ability to let it go is going to be tantamount to your freedom from outcome and your sanity. So that practice for even 15 minutes a day, looking at something, letting it go. And letting it go doesn't mean that you just stop. It means you move the energy in a new direction and take in something else, because energy can't just stop. Or you go into a meditative state where the energy goes up and down, or the energy goes forward. But so if I'm investing in feeling this person and she's hot and I'm like, God, I want her. And then I move my energy over here to somebody else that I don't find hot. I'm going to take in this other person fully and appreciate them and be curious about them. And then I might take my energy and move it up and down and go into a meditative state for a little bit and let that person go. Then I'll come back. And if I want, after a few minutes, maybe I'll go back to the hot chick again. And that ability to take my energy away and come back is everything, man. So never quite described it like that. So hope, do you guys get that? Does that sound like something you guys want to do? Because it's that, I tell you that that's a powerful practice. Um, Anybody going to answer me? I want to see an answer in the chat before I move on. Anybody get that practice? Yes or no? Okay, awesome. Perfect. Good. Okay. Emmanuel, nah. One person didn't get it. Okay. But the bulk of you did. That's awesome. I'm practicing it now. It's really dope. That's awesome for sure. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Sorry, Gerald. Maybe with time, I work on a different, I'll work 90% of what I work on is embodiment and feeling and energetics, which is really, it's the core to everything. So, yep, do it when I get stuck. Perfect. That's perfect. I taught a basic version of this in Miami a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, when we were teaching at the Flow State Summit, which was really the art of seduction and flow state. And guys really went out and did some crazy shit with it, dude. They were fucking having a blast with this basic idea. So some people were coming back and telling me all the stuff that was happening. It was really cool. Okay. Couple tips on getting over a breakup. Would you go out and start looking for dates right away? Or do I release, man? I'll tell you my last breakup. I love using real examples. It's so much easier. My last breakup was with a girl I was with for about 3 years. And we had a great time together. She was fucking awesome. I respect the shit out of her even today. She's in some of my videos. You guys might be able to figure out who she is. I have a lot of chemistry with her. Sexy as fuck, Latina, Colombian girl. And I never announced her as my girlfriend, so you guys never knew that. And she was awesome. And we broke up mainly because what she wanted for her future and what I wanted were two completely different things. We didn't break up because we didn't care about each other. We were going in completely different directions as far as what we wanted to create in our future. She wanted a baby now. Her twin sister just had a baby. She wanted a baby now. So we ended up, having to end it for that reason. There's, there was creating complications. There was other things, but I love her to death, and care about her deeply. So when I broke up with her, it wasn't like this thing where I'm just going to let her go. She's a bitch, and I don't like doing that anyways. I hate doing that. I don't want to have to let somebody go because I think they're a bitch. So what I did was got into the releasing. I would love my releasing. And I said, what is it that this beautiful woman gives me that I can't give myself? I asked that question over and over. And I wouldn't think about the answer. I'd feel for the answer. And something would come up in my heart, and I'd feel companionship, connection, great sex, turn on, validation. These different answers would come up, and I'd feel the pain of it. And because the breakup was fresh, I would just grieve it right away. I'd say, welcome it. Can I welcome this fully? Can I be with this? And sometimes I would cry for a little bit, let it go. And then I'd do it again. What is this? And I did it for days on end because it was so fresh. Now, what's the beauty of that? And every time I cried or released a little bit more, processed it, I felt better and better and better. What's the beauty of that? The beauty of that is that I'm asking, what am I not giving myself? And as I let it go, then I welcome, the next part is, can I welcome that part in me? If it's validation, can I welcome my own self-validation? Can I validate myself? If it's love, can I welcome any self-love? If it's intimacy, can I welcome this sense of intimacy? If it's turn on, can I welcome a sense of turn on in my own body, being turned on for life? And so can I welcome it? Can I let it go? And then can I welcome the opposite in myself? Can that part of me that's trying to get it from somebody else? I'm trying to get this validation from somebody else. So it's my own self-validation. And it was really potent. And what it did is it improved my self-esteem radically by doing that. And it really grew me a lot by doing that, especially when it's fresh. Because if you let it all go dormant again, it's not going to hit you the same. So when the breakup's fresh, you got an opportunity for some serious self-esteem, self-love, personal power work, confidence, self-esteem, and self-love work. And if you do it hardcore, like dive in, and you might cry, you might get sad, you might get hurt, you might get angry, go through all these emotions as you do it. In the end, you're going to feel so much better. And most people won't do that though. They're going to go out and drink, distract, watch TV, drink, eat a bunch of food, do some drugs, and then they're going to numb out till they repress it back into their subconscious mind, unfortunately. And then when you feel better, then you can start. I would start dating. Yeah, definitely get back on that horse. But get through that initial rawness. Get yourself healed up a little bit, and quite a bit, as much as you can, because girls can tell when you're not over another girl. So, thanks for the insight. Yeah, you're welcome, Matthew. It was awesome. Okay. Could you a couple tips? What would you say about being friend zoned in a relationship when things go from passionate to cute and sweet? Obviously, a lack of polarity is happening. Yeah, exactly what we talked about in this call. But you're literally destroying the polarity in the relationship. That's why you're getting friends on there. Without polarity, there's no sexual attraction. So somebody's not being the feminine, somebody's not being the masculine. They're not dancing off each other. They're not courting each other anymore. That should never stop, even until you're 80 or 90. Somebody's going to primarily be, and you could switch on occasion, but you're going to primarily be playing on one side. You can even be in the middle on occasion, where you're just hanging out together, and then switch back into polarity for turn on and sexual attraction. You should be able to charge each other. When one goes into the polarity, it should polarize the other, and vice versa. So if you're not doing polarity anymore, or you're running from polarity, or you start to do it a little bit, and then you get scared of it. That happens a lot. Like, I start to do a little polarity, and let's say you haven't had polarity. I was giving another example, real world. I had a student this last weekend who was talking about all the fighting he'd been having with his girlfriend, and he wanted to change it. And he was tired of it. And he said that every time we get together, she'll say this, I'll say this, we start fighting. So we're talking about grounding, being present, creating a container. So he got with his girlfriend and said, I'm going to be present with you. And I said, I feel like we need to work on this. First thing she did was get mad. I've been saying this forever. You go to this group and they tell you to say, and what did he do? He said, instead of getting reactive like he usually does, starting to argue back, he just grounded. He said he got angry, but he stayed present, leaned into the tension, and instead of running from her and trying to convince her, that's what you guys always try to do, is convince, or people try to convince. He said exactly what he felt. He said, I'm angry because of this, and I'm angry because of this, but I really care, and I'm gonna be right here, right in here. And he got into the anger, but he got into the presence. He got into the feeling. He stopped trying to convince. It was more about processing feelings than it was about working on logic. And in the end, she loved it. Okay. So,
We got one more from YouTube if you got a minute, Brian.
yeah, I'm checking the time. What if you come across a woman who's so that's probably what's going on. You're gonna when you try to repair a relationship, Jalala. I hope I'm saying it right. I apologize. When you try to repair a relationship, sometimes you get a little bit more kickback than you would with somebody you just met. And so, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It can be super beneficial. Okay. Okay. Especially even if the relationship doesn't work out in the end, it'll make you that much better for the next one. And hopefully it does. I have seen people work stuff out even after it got tough for a while. Okay. The first pronunciation was correct. Jalaya. Hopefully that is that one. That's the one. Nice. So awesome. I'm glad I nailed it. Perfect. Hopefully that helped. And oh, nice. You were in Miami. Perfect. I love that. Was a fun event, wasn't it? That one, I loved doing that one. Grunge guy. Oh, I think I called. Did I call you out for reminding me of a grunge? I called somebody out recently saying you look like you're from Seattle or something. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, let's jump on to the YouTube comment. What do we got?
All right, cool. This is from Elite Millennials. What's more important, Brian, having an open heart or being grounded when relating to people?
Well, you need some of each. I mean, look, if you got a car and you got a car battery and it's got a positive and a negative charge, and one of them's not working, the car doesn't work. You got to ground, and you got to have a positive charge. I'd rather have a little bit of each than neither of one. And so one can be more dominant than the other. You can have more grounding and a little bit of good heart, solid heart. You can have a big heart and a low ground, and you can do pretty well. But ultimately, get them both going and start developing them both. And that's about the best answer I can give on that. And I would look at which is your strong suit and where you're weak, and you can just go back and forth between them. Where do you want to work? Where does it excite you? If you got both those areas. I'm gonna jump. I see your comment here, Shad, but I've already given you a comment. I'm gonna see if I can find some people I haven't answered a question for, then come back. So Boulevard, I don't think I've answered your question other than the chat today. What releasing ways can I practice to kill the nice guy syndrome? Releasing on abandonment is probably the biggest one, Boulevard. Going back and finding all the times you felt emotionally abandoned and physically abandoned, which equals emotional abandonment. So abandonment would be when your mom withheld love, took away love for a form of punishment, or unconsciously or consciously. Or maybe it could be because they did it intentionally, like I'm mad at you, so they don't give you any warmth from their heart for 2 or 3 days, and the child feels completely abandoned. They shut off and they're cold for 2 or 3 days, rather than working with the child to have them understand what's going on. They can still be stern with the heart open, or you can be cold. So some people think to be stern, you have to close your heart. The other one would be sometimes parents are unstable. They could be bipolar, alcoholic, and then they shut off that way on you because they're in an alcoholic stupor for 2 days. They're in a bipolar rage for a few days, something like that. So where you got all those memories, that's where I would do some releasing, where you felt alone as a child, and then until you can start to welcome your own sense of self-love and self-validation, sense of self-control. Get to those core ones, Bullard. Let's see. Let's go on down, and I'll come back to you guys, Jeremy. What if if I only have a nice guy symptoms when I don't know the girl? How do I overcome the initial social anxiety? By approaching a lot of women and then practicing boundary setting and rapport breaking with them. Coming in and working with the models is a great way too. But if you go out and you start doing all our our Fearless Fridays, and you start rapport breaking, you express, talk, then take your energy away, come back, take your energy away, come back. It used to letting lock in with people, let them go. Lock in with people, let them go. That's probably one of the quickest things you can do, because nice guys, once they lock in with somebody, they feel obligated. They want to be there for them, and they feel really bad rejecting people. But sometimes that's what makes people the happiest, is like the fact they can see you're not attached to them, especially people you just met. They don't need you to be locked in with them all the time. That doesn't mean you be a dick. It doesn't mean you go like, fuck you, there's this energy. No, you keep your heart open. You just move the energy over here, let them go for a sec, come back, talk to them some more, move the energy over there, let them go for a sec, and don't linger on them. Don't smother them. You can practice it consciously with friends. Move your energy away, come back, move your energy away, come back. They can feel it. Well, I do it. I demonstrate it all the time. If you've ever been in one of our live events, I'll demonstrate it for you, man. And you'll see it. It's really easy. This isn't Jeremy that was here this weekend, is it? This last weekend? Were you just here, Jeremy? Was I just working with you, or the group? Because I could see you getting this really well. I could see you having no trouble with this. Okay. Okay. 2 experiences ago. Okay. So we had somebody here last weekend named Jeremy. I was wondering if that was you. Okay. Awesome. Doug, Gerald. Gerald, have I answered your question? How do you balance not being a nice guy with freedom of outcome? I have some girls calling me an asshole because I don't care what they think when I joke with them. That sounds like that might mean they're attracted to you. Actually, I'm not sure. Well, let's read the rest of this. I still have an open heart with groundedness, but I think they genuinely think I'm an asshole. How do they react? Do they want to keep hanging out with you? Do they lean into you? Do they call, hey, you're such an asshole? Or do they go, you're an asshole, fuck you, and they actually get mad? So, some guys don't understand when a girl is just playing with them, because girls will play with you like that a lot, especially when they like you. That's their way of flirting. One of the ways of guys and girls flirt. Unless you're actually trying to attack them. Like if you're saying you're such a dork, instead of saying You're such a dork. You're such a fucking dork. And there's a sense of like actual anger and tone and a strike and an actual attack. Because the attack comes in the energy. It doesn't come in the words. I can say, you're a fucking asshole. And then there's this sense of play. Or I can say, you're a fucking asshole. And there's a difference in the attitudes. And people feel the difference. So, and then it's the same thing coming back at you. You can feel the difference coming off of them. So if you got a nice guy going on, you might be taking their flirting as real. I see nice guys, just the girl says something that's flirting, the nice guy gets all reactive and excuse me, and she's saying, "Where did he go? Why is he acting like this? I was flirting with him. I was playing with him." Girls are very wise to this stuff. So women. Anonymous. Is that you, Andrew? I heard noise there.
Yeah, when you want to fit it in, we got one.
Okay, let me do this anonymous one. About constant fighting with your girlfriend, you guys suggest more grounding practice. Well, it could be more grounding, could be more open heart. It's actually going to be might be a little of each. You guys might be shutting off your heart, and she's trying to get to you. You might not be grounding her enough, so it's hard for me again to say, but both of them are needed. And getting more in your body in that sense, because if she can't feel your heart, she's going to be constantly chasing that connection, and if she can't feel your groundedness, she's not going to feel safe. So you don't need to be a master of either. A little bit of each can go a long ways, but a lot of guys, they have open hearts until they start fighting with their girlfriends and they immediately slam those hearts shut. So that's a really common one. Same thing with grounding, really, till the girl gets mad at them and their grounding goes to shit. And so because they're bracing and they're like, I'll just tighten up, versus opening up and letting it run through and being present with her, which then calms her down. Same thing with you, dude. Think about it. If your girlfriend, if you get mad at your girlfriend and she opens her heart, drops into her body and touches you and hugs you or holds you or believes in, and looks at you with those really deep feminine eyes, and that softens most guys right up. People aren't a master of this anymore. Okay, what do you got?
All right, this one is from Kenneth. Brian, how do I deal with the fear of loneliness and having no social life?
You do work. You got to get out and do the work, man. I mean, you got to go out and get a social life. You got to get out and well, let's take that a step further. I mean, do you do any work? Do you meditate, or do you just do stuff to numb out? Get rid of, like, for me, when I was at one of my lonely phases where I was really realized I had to make a change. I was sitting in an apartment in Long Beach. I had a nice little place. Came home every night from work. I had a 9 to 5 job that I hated, and I would turn on sitcoms every night. And I would listen to the sitcoms because they cheered me up. I listen to people laugh, and I put them in the background. I'd do other things, and I realized that if those sitcoms, one day I hadn't turned them on, I felt myself getting really sad, really lonely, being in the house by myself. And I realized they were a source of comfort for me. So that's one way I was drugging myself. Another way was food, eating a lot of food and stuffing junk food down my throat, things like that. Probably masturbation at that time too, a lot of it. And so what I did was I started stopping those things. I turned the TV. I had to, at first I said, I'm not going to turn on the TV, but I did anyways. So I unplugged it and turned it around, put the screen against the wall so that I'd have to work to turn it on. That worked. And then I suddenly felt all the sadness, and I sat with the sadness. And then I started, changing other behaviors, and I would start to process and feel the sadness. I was reading Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now at the time. And that's really a book about welcoming, just being with the now, and started meditating and and that was the beginning of my breaking up a lot of that. And then immediately I met people down at a yoga school. I went to a place where I felt it was healing, and I started hanging out with those people, and I started partaking in what they called their healing clinics, where they would work with people from the neighborhood and making more connection. I wasn't trying to date. I was trying to just get basically happy. Okay. But I went out and after I started to process my emotions, I went out to meet people, make friends. And then I started moving shortly thereafter. I started moving towards the dating aspect. I got curious about that. So that's where I think revealing or letting go is so powerful. Like Doc Hawkins, letting go. I think meditation can be very powerful. I think joining groups that meditate if you're really sad. Let's take dating. Another great one for me was I went out and met people that were on this journey of dating, and I went out with them, and I'd go out to meet girls. We'd go out and talk to girls, and that was a blast. That's when I really started bonding with guys and facing tension, stepping into tension, pushing myself. And so that was another phase that I went through a little while later, and it all just kept changing from there. And so we got our Friday challenges on here. You can check those out. I think there's 3 of them up right now. I did 2, then Anthony did 2. I think Anthony's going to do the next one, either Anthony or Sam, but I think it's going to be Anthony. So those are great, and watching all these videos, but really get around people, even if it's just meditation classes or yoga class, something simple to start out if you're really heavy. Guys that are into this work, meetups, like if you come to one of our seminars, which are cheaper courses, you can actually sit down and hang out with the guys. Most of those are in Miami right now because of all the restrictions here in Los Angeles, but stuff's awesome. The Anu writes, the power of now was the beginning of my releasing journey to 9 years ago, especially when he gave the example of meditating at the stoplight. Yeah. He's an interesting character. That book I listened to on audio in my car for months on end. And I did a lot of driving at that time too. So I was listening to a lot of that, and it had a huge impact. I didn't understand releasing. But I just welcomed a lot, and it caused a lot of releasing. It caused me to get into some crazy bliss states on the weekend. I would meditate all weekend long. Sometimes I'd go for a walk in the meditative state, and next thing you know, I could swear trees were talking to me. People, I could feel everybody's heart, and I was so present. But the problem was, typical thing that Eckhart talks about, I couldn't do anything. I was just so blissed out. I didn't want to move other than walk or a little bit slowly and sit down. I didn't want to do anything I did where I had to think at all would pop me out. And so I reached this point where I was like, either I have to commit to this, not doing anything and see what happens, or I have to go back to, and I have to go back to, or I have to go back and figure out how to do this while living in the world. And because every Monday I'd get depressed. As soon as I started to realize I had to go to work on Monday and start thinking again and working, all the depression would come back. So I realized it was like a break in my psyche from a part of my ego when I didn't have to do anything. As soon as I had to do something, it all came back. And so I went back to work, and I started working on different ways of figuring out how to function in the world and have that joy, how to work, how to build business. And I've done a lot of that since then. That's what this work's a lot about. So, awesome, guys. Yes, psychedelic. There are some, very rarely psychedelics have had an influence. Ayahuasca with shamans, some mushrooms, things like that. I've learned more on mushrooms, I feel like, than ayahuasca. But they've both been great. I think anybody can overdo all that stuff and then it loses potency. So I do them very, very infrequently. And then I reserve the day or two after for deep releases and things that are coming up, so I don't distract myself from whatever processed. Anyways, you guys are awesome. It's been an hour and a half. Love you guys all. I'm always saying I'm going to do these calls about 45 minutes from now on. Maybe someday I'll actually stick to that. But right now we're at an hour and a half. Do you guys, so be ready for next week. Do we have anything we're supposed to offer this week? Anything coming up, Cairo?
We don't have anything, but we do have a sale for Tim's recordings going on right now. So that's one thing that's going on at the moment, but that expires tomorrow.
Where do they find that?
Just go to the homepage. You'll see the alert at the bottom of the website. Okay.
So if any of you are interested in the Integrated Man Summit we did this year in December, there was a huge success, and you want to see the recordings of that with all the coaches speaking, me speaking, Mark Edward Davis there, and then get on that link right away before it expires or the price goes up, and you can find that on the website. So that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, we had to change our events to Turkey because Romania won't let us in. Romania is being stubborn. So until Romania lets us in, maybe, who knows, maybe Turkey, Istanbul will be our new home for a while because it'll be awesome. So we'll see how it goes. Dave went out there, my business partner, checked it all out, did a lot of research and made sure we were going to the right spot. We don't just show up someplace randomly and hope that it works out. We go out and check it all out. So Turkey it is, guys. And you guys are awesome. Love working with you guys as always. And I feel like there's something. Oh, next week I'm going to be talking with one of our beautiful models and about her vocal journey and how you guys can change your voices too. Does that sound good to you guys? You guys interested in that one? And I'll be asking her about her relationship to voices and that type of stuff. Okay, awesome. With that said, good. I'm glad you guys like the topic, so I saw something there. Okay, cool. Everybody, I hope you all have a beautiful night, and I'll talk to you all soon. And watch out! Oh, Friday is the next Fearless Friday video coming out. Freaky Friday, even whatever we want to call it. What time does that come out, Cairo? The Friday challenge video.
Those get published at 6 a.m. PST.
Damn, so damn early. I was thinking if we don't, because we got to record one, and I was thinking the guys are recording it right now. They're working on it today, but if they don't get it done, then I would probably just do it live. 6 a.m. is yeah, we'll see. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a beautiful night, and remember, only the confident really live.